Before jumping into the code itself, I'm going to go ahead and again go over the documentation portion. So this is the link that was shown in the slide detailing this call. So if you want to follow along, feel free to type in that link and jump through this documentation with us. So this, again, it's not going to be as in depth for each of the individual sections. They actually try to break this up to really give you more of an individualized view of the piece you're pulling. There's a little more complication and complexity to the API calls as compared to Y Finance, just because you do have to log in, you do have to call the REST API, and you do pass different pieces of information, and it comes back in a little bit of a different way. So when you go through the Alpaca documentation, just keep that in mind, that they have a lot of different documentation broken up in sections to help you go through this. So if you want to check your account, you want to get assets, which we are going to review later in this course, there are specific examples of documentation, what you need to call, and then as far as what we're going to learn for this section, we're going to focus on the market data example itself. So for this example, much like Y Finance, you're going to import the Alpaca Trade API module. You're going to log into the REST API from Alpaca. So we're going to pass it our user credentials. Of course, they're not going to have that included here in the documentation, but we will show you what that looks like. You will assign a variable utilizing the API, the Alpaca Trade API get bar set. So you're going to pass it, much like our last example, you're going to pass it a ticker. You're going to tell it a time period, and then you're going to give it a limit for the number of data points that you want to pull for that specific ticker itself. From there, you have to do a little bit more massaging to get it into a usable frame, but we'll go over that when we go to our live coding example. And then they've even got examples in here of how they're manipulating the data. So utilizing the first bar open section minus the last bar close section to give you what the percent week change was in this specific example. So let's go ahead and jump over to our actual live code notebook.